welcome to Latoonie. This is AJ here from Latoonie.com. Hope everyone is having a great day. So today, I received my first Hulk Hogan figure. I think I should be expecting another package, hopefully this coming Wednesday. But we got the blue card, so that's a good start. Well, before we get started and talk about the figure, I think this figure means a lot to me personally. I think, again, I have mentioned this on one of the oldest videos as well. I'm a more of a Hasbro guy. Growing up, didn't really had an opportunity to buy LJN. Believe it or not, I didn't get to expose to LJN till like 2023 or something. So I guess a couple of years back. So my first ever figure, which was the Iron Sheik. So that was how I got my first exposure, and then I kind of went on a marathon. I was like, okay, I need to buy everything. So was able to get all of these Minton card. So I think I have everything. I'm missing a couple of black cards. I think rest of those, and maybe one tag team, the Heart Foundation. Other than that, I think I have all the pieces. So really glad to see this. I think this is a blue card. I kind of personally wanted a black one, just because I think the black and yellow kind of flows a lot nicer. But hey, getting this figure in year, after what 40 years or something when this was initially released is a dream come true for a lot of us. And when I saw this for the first time, it kind of bring back some of the memories that I didn't had as a kid in picking up LJN from a toy aisle, right? So I could just very well imagine how cool this would have actually looked. Having all these hung on the aisle, and as a kid walking all the Toys R Us and whatnot, whatever were the toy stores back in the days, and actually going through these. Um, so let's talk about the figure. So the figure is, it is kind of like more of a wrap packaging. What I mean by that is you have one side basically sealed, and the other side you can see right here is kind of open on one end. So basically, it's kind of like a book or a file cover, as they basically closet. And this is not the first time this has been done. As I mentioned, I have when I started Latoonie, when I started building, I've been fortunate enough to actually have been collecting LJN figures mint on card for quite a while. I own a full Thundercats collection mint on card, and one of the rare figures of Thundercats line, if you know it, are the driller figure, which comes on the English card back, right? So I think the European or the French card back was more common. And the last two Thundercat figures were, one was Luna Lasher Mumra, and other was the Thunder Wings Lion. All those card backs, actually that had even a more unique packing, but this kind of packing was actually used there. What I meant was that, or that was actually more of even a further more unique, because the figure itself was actually placed inside as the middle, and you could basically see both the front and back of the figure. But it was kind of the same packing. It was kind of more a wrap packaging around the figure as they have done here. Now, one of the question I think somebody posted on the forum was, it doesn't have that smell of the original LJN, or like the big rubber guys or some of the Latoonie figures that we have made. And one of the primary reason will that be because of this kind of, if it's clear, you can probably see this kind of small poke holes, which basically allows the air to flow in and out. And similarly, there is right here at the back, you can see basically the airflow, so it allows it to go back and forth, right? So, and one of the primary reason why they would have done it, basically for this age 6 and up. Now when we create our figures, we put 18 and up. Now this is obviously Mattel being a very big company. They want to make sure this passes compliance. They want to make sure it doesn't have those toxic smells blended inside the figure once it's sealed. So I see why this might have been done, which is good, because when I first got the Macho Man, I gave it to my 3-year-old son to play with. I actually didn't initially give it to him. I actually kept it in the garage for a couple of days for the smell to kind of fade away, and then kind of pass it over to him, because he would he would probably, keep it very close to his nose and keep smelling it. And I don't think that was pretty appropriate. So I think very good decision on Mattel's part. Love that. Now the packaging, obviously at the back, very cool. Now the packaging at the back, you have the Hulk Hogan bio, and you got the four figures coming in from wave one. You got Hulk Hogan, Dusty Rhodes, Logan Paul, and John Cena, and and then pretty much the barcode and the LJN logo at the top. So pretty cool. Um, so let's go ahead and actually see if we can open this guy up. So it's gonna be a bit of a challenge because it doesn't really. It's like a blister. So you might have to squeeze from the middle. Trying to figure out a way. Again, it's very tightly bound, so I'm trying to basically go from the middle. So see if we can actually break this down. And we are getting. That was the only way we're gonna basically get this done. Oh, here goes the Hulk Hogan, getting close to him. All right, so we got a tray. We started doing this very recently as well. We learned our lessons, but all the Latoonie figures are now also coming with the tray. So we learned that trick as well, and I'm glad to see Mattel doing that as well. And here is Hulk Hogan out of the packaging, and we see, this guy is now. I'm gonna compare it with the LJN, which is right here. For people who have basically owned this, instantly you will see how software the original one is. It's no comparison when it comes to the softness level. But having said that, obviously, I think I mentioned into one of my prototype videos as well for the Hulk Hogan figure, the legs are very tight, but it will still give you the bendability you need, but not to the level that you have. This is really smooth, right? When we are talking about the original. The new one, a little bit more on the tighter side, but hey, I'll take it. Looks pretty cool. Again, little stiffness there, extremely soft, right? You can see right here. I'm gonna be struggling a little bit. This one, no problems at all. This is the old one, the new one. Same applies over here. The head sculpt, obviously, there is a little bit of skin tone variation. No issues there. The resting belt, uh, pretty much on the money. I don't really see any huge differences. Obviously, pretty good throwback on the old one, and eyes were probably not so clear on the older one, a little bit more well refined on the new one. So cool there. Overall, a pretty nice and smooth figure. I mean, you can't beat that. Getting a Hulk Hogan figure after 40 years, how it originally came in, I don't think anybody can beat that. So at the bottom, it says Mattel, 2025 WWE, really cool. Now, as I had mentioned, one of the reason for the why the PVC material or rubber material, whatever you want to call it, is gonna be it's gonna be a little bit more on the stiffer side because for the paint to hold. That wasn't the case when the originally was done. They were very, I would say, softer. They had used softer material. Mattel can easily do that. We can easily do that. More softer you go, the more difficult it is for the paint to persist. So that's one of the reasons it's not doing that. A little bit of minor paint overflow here. Again, that's kind of expected from the factories. Overall, a good, decent figure. I think for those of you who didn't own this, I think owning this one will be, a dream come true, especially getting a chance to open one of this guy up, right? I had fun opening this up. So this is that. Let's take a look at the poster. I'll probably save my poster card back. So let's see. All right. Now we did our poster a little bit differently. we had done more, exactly the way the originals were. Find something sharper here to open this up. Nope, never mind. One side actually was opening. So this is the poster. Oops. So this is the poster you can see right here. So we got Hulk Hogan and pretty cool. And then it's closed. So previously, if you remember the older one, they had an opening in the back. I think I have one over here with me somewhere, but it's okay. Let's check out the poster. So I feel there were 3 or 4 posters. Uh, Here's the poster. Pretty cool. The red doesn't seem to be popping out too much. It's kind of giving more like a shade of pink over here. So that's probably the only, I would say, thing is. I didn't remember Hulk Hogan wearing an earring. So I don't know if you all can see it. I see Hulk Hogan wearing an earring here. Did he used to wear an earring? I guess I probably have to look it up. But pretty unique. I like it. I think I'll probably save this poster and we'll toss up the packaging. So there it is, guys. Definitely worth it. I'll get my second Hogan on Wednesday. Hopefully, that's a black card. If not, neither way, I think this suffices. Really enjoyed this. What do you all think of this Hulk Hogan? And if you happen to open one of yours, give us your feedback. Thank you all for tuning in at Latoonie.com.